Hello, welcome guys. This is my POB for Flicker Strike Wildspeaker. I've done this build in last Phrecia League. It was back in Settlers, and it was really good. I was using Svalin back then, but I think we can get the same defenses from Svalin without using Svalin this league as well if we use a couple of mechanics. So the build is relatively cheap. This is, first of all, this is not a guide, just like a template, you can use it. It's semi-guide, so if you're not very experienced at the game, not very, but like if you're a noob at the game, I don't recommend you start this build, but it shouldn't be that hard also to follow, so start it at your own risk. So yeah, first of all, why Wildspeaker? Because we get easy frenzy charge generation to bypass the flicker cooldown, and we also get level 35 aspect of the cat. This is not really that good, but the good line here is aspect of the cat has no reservation, so it doesn't consume any mana. The reason why we don't care about the aspect of the cat we get from Ascendancy is because we can craft it on our own gear, and if you craft it, like for example on the gloves using bestiary, you can equip the gloves with less duration and it will alternate the aspect of the cat buff faster, making frenzy charge generation even faster. So that's why we're going Wildspeaker. And as for the rest of the Ascendancy, we have 2 more points. There aren't many options, but there are a couple of good ones. Number 1, Primal Instinct. You get 100% spell suppression. It comes with the downside of lessening the effectiveness of your suppression, but because of that, and because spell suppression was nerfed this league from 50% to 40, and with this it becomes even worse at 30, spell suppression is not really that big of a deal, so instead I'm converting it all to spell dodge using acrobatics. This will give us, with this, 50% dodge, and we get a little more extra from the tree itself, and the rest from the shield, and that easily maxes out your spell dodge at 75%. So we have 75% spell dodge, we also have a lot of evasion. We have, like, at tier 16 you will have at least 80% evasion chance against tier 16 monsters. So 75% spell dodge, 80% evasion chance, and with 10 nodes here you get shield, like with at least 40% chance to block. You get versatile combatant and a couple of block nodes, and you can easily cap your block chance for both attacks and spells at 65%. So this basically gives you the cheaper version of Svalin. So like our effective avoidance chance for both attacks and spells is over 90%. That's without Svalin, without anything. So you don't need to buy Svalin for 50 plus divs or anything. Just a cheap setup with 1 ascendancy point, a couple of suppression chance, like 10 points on block, and 1 shield, and you easily have 90% avoidance for both attacks and spells. So that's the avoidance side. We also have decent health pool, 5.5k, and you can even get more if you equip Garkon's Flight. I think you can get to 6.5. Yeah, 6.5, but I'm choosing Dark Ray Vectors because they give me more damage, which honestly I care more about. But also the event is not as long as previous events, so Garkon Flight is rare. It's also will be desired because there's people playing Whisperer, and Whisperer also uses dexterity stacking, so Garkon Flight will be expensive at the league start, so that's why I'm opting for Dark Ray Vectors. Now, will also be dexterity stacking because of Scourge of the Wilds. It gives us million damage per dexterity, and also 100%, 100 flat dexterity that got buffed this league. So with this, we're also using Hand of Thought of Motion. That's basically the main way of scaling our damage. We scale our dexterity as much as possible. We get dexterity on rings, on belt, gloves, every way possible. Um, the synthesis dexterity will be expensive as well, but it's not necessary. Like, get as much as possible if you can get this. Maybe you can get reflected rings to get even more dexterity. That's also nice. But this, everything, all of this is min-maxing, and it's not really needed. The uniques of this build are also very cheap. We use Hand and Thought of Motion. I tried crafting a rare claw like this, and I compared it with Hand of Thought of Motion, and it was honestly less DPS. As you can see, if we equip this, I think we lose 2 million damage. Yeah, 2 million damage. So Hand of Thought of Motion is more damage. So very cheap unique, and that will be your endgame unique. Also Fractal Thoughts, medium budget unique. Like, it's not expensive, it's not cheap, it's in the middle. I think you can get it for like 50 chaos or something. I'm not sure. We get crit multi. We get dexterity, percentage dexterity if we have strength higher than intelligence. So make sure your strength is higher than intelligence. And we get elemental damage per dexterity, so even more scaling from our dexterity. Dark ray vectors, as I said before. And lastly, replica badge of the Brotherhood. This makes your maximum endurance charges equal to your maximum frenzy. We have, because we're flicker, we're scaling frenzy charges obviously. So we have 3 from the tree, 1 from the Ascendancy, 3 from base, that's 7 frenzy charges, 1 from gloves, and 1 from dark ray vectors. So that's 9, and that's also 9 endurance charges. That means 40% physical damage reduction and 40% elemental damage reduction. And to generate endurance charges, we use the gain endurance charge every 10 seconds from the body armor. And to make it even last further, we use increased charge duration from this mastery here. So you should generate fairly good amount of endurance charges. Now, it comes with one downside. It tells you chance to lose an endurance charge when you gain a fortification. So every time you gain fortify, there is a 20% chance you will lose an endurance charge. That's usually bad, but if you don't have a guaranteed source of fortify, you can use the implicit I'm using here. Melee hits have 6 to 7% chance to fortify, and with how fast we hit with flicker and how hard we hit with it, you will almost be at 20 max fortification stacks all the time without hitting the dice at rolling an endurance charge and losing it with every attack. So 6 to 7% chance to fortify is more than enough. You don't need more than that, and you will have mostly all the time max endurance charges and max fortify charges, or fortification stacks I mean. So uniques are cheap. This maybe will need a couple of days until people find it in heist. And for the last unique, a brutal restraint. Now here we are gonna use brutal restraint in this location. It will be second sight. This is given by Nasima. So Nasima gives you second sight. It makes us blind, but in return it gives us more critical strike chance if we are blinded, and we're also always blind because of the keystone itself. Now this doesn't hurt our hit chance because we have a lot of accuracy from dexterity stacking. So this is really good to cap our crit chance. We don't quite have cap because if we remove this flask, see we have 96%, but that's like plenty enough. With the flask we have 100% uptime, so not that big of a problem. Um, I mean, and the rest of the gear is rare gear. We use some all grafts to get some max life. You can get attack speed if you need. You can get like use any grafts you want. I opted for max life myself, so honestly it's up to you. I didn't think much about them. I didn't even look at what they could benefit me, so there could be something there that you can discover for yourself. And I think like this is the quote-unquote budget version. It's not very budget, but it's as budget as I can make it. Um, but there's also an even more expensive version with better rings, like reflected rings. You can use rings like this and use a calendar on the other hand, and you can have even more damage. You can also use, I don't know, better gloves like these. And what else is there? You can use, instead of dark ray vectors, you can use storm rider boots. This also like gives you lightning damage based on your accuracy, and you can get even more dex, tailwind, and even more life. So this is not bad either. What else is there? Like there's not much that you can do other than get even more dex and life, but yeah, that's basically it. As for leveling, um, you're gonna like use any leveling guide. You don't need guides, but just maybe you can use smite or you can use spectre throw. It's up to you. Just make sure to get precise technique while leveling and keep your accuracy higher than your life, so we can get 40% more attack damage uh, while leveling. So use this while leveling, and once you get to maps you can swap it out, go the crit route. Don't get any crit while leveling, but when you remove it you can start going crit. And oh yeah, there's also the cluster version. The cluster version can reach like almost 24 million. You can get a cluster like this: life, dex, all attributes, and increased effect. Why am I using this? Like you can use, let's swap this. Yeah, you can easily hit 25 million with a good cluster. Although if you're using this cluster, you will lose these points, and you won't have triple fury, so you'll have to allocate. I mean, you will have a choice: either allocate Veteran's Wrath through the Anoint to get Rage Generation, or you can use allocate Tribal Fury to get Melee Splash. But if you don't want to use that, you can swap gems for mapping. You can swap Melee Splash for any of these gems while mapping to get better clear. Um, I think that's it in general. There's nothing more I think there is to say. And I hope if you follow the build that you enjoy it. Tell me in the comments if you have any questions. Don't like over uh, what is it? Don't ask too many questions, but if you have like certain like few questions about some stuff, I'm more than happy to answer his questions. And goodbye.